Greetings everyone, this is Redora, and I'm here to talk about my Explosive Arrow Elementalist. So I've completely overhauled this character's build from Fire Trap, and this is not something that I planned out, but after a series of very fortuitous events, I felt compelled to go Explosive Arrow, and yeah, it's going to be really obvious as to why that's the case once I get into the gear and passives. But before that, I just really want to quickly thank Pelstron for the max roll guide and POB that I've been referring to put this character together. Thank you very much, and there will be a link in the description to the max roll guide if you want to check that out for yourself as well. Alright, let's get into it right away with the obvious thing. Replica Dragonfang Flight with Explosive Arrow on it. So the way that this happened was I got a Divine Altar with the Keystone spec'd in, and with the Divine Orbs that I got from that, you know, my morbid curiosity had me use like 2 or 3 of them on this amulet. You know, maybe I would hit something cool, and I got Explosive Arrow. So I'm thinking right away, am I going to play Explosive Arrow again? Even though I just did that on a champion. And, you know, I wanted to, but I wasn't sure yet. And then something else happened. And if you know this build, you already know. But I got Unnatural Instinct here. And then once I got this, I was like, fuck, alright. I'll play Explosive Arrow again. Fine. Fine. The game wants me to play EA? No problem. I guess that's just how it is with solo self-found. You know, once in a while, you'll just have a bunch of stuff land in your lap to, like, put a really strong build together, potentially, and you just gotta go with it sometimes. And that's exactly what I did here. I couldn't believe that I got this, because this is not common by any means. It's a tier 1 unique, so yeah, you can definitely go for a very long time without ever seeing this drop, and it's extremely powerful for both the champion version and the elementalist version of this build. And being able to free up the skill points from this bow cluster here is like pretty much what enables you to be able to do a cluster duel setup, which it really takes the you know, your firepower to the next level. Yeah, this has been amazing to, you know, to have. I can't really say much more than that. Super lucky, very happy about it. All right, and then other thing I wanted to say about Dragonfang Flight, you know, I was actually kind of surprised to see that when I plugged it into POB and I compared it to like a +2 amulet with dot multi, it's really not as much of a difference in raw damage as I thought it would be. But the thing that's been really nice about this is because it gives more mana reservation efficiency, I've been able to run an extra aura, and I've been using Defiance Banner for that. So the extra armor and evasion that I get from that makes me feel a lot safer. It's been really nice to have this addition that's enabled by Dragonfang Flight. And yeah, it's nice to have that little bit of extra tankiness, because yeah, this build is, you know, it's much squishier, and I do feel a bit safer having that. Let's get into the rest of the gear. So for bow, pretty basic +3 bow with attack speed, and then I crafted the dot multiplier on there. I made this bow the exact same way I did on my champion. I used the Porcupine card deck. I had like 5 of them, you know, just from other league mechanics here and there, and so I just farmed Orchard maps to get the last one that I needed. and then I use Essence of Dread to get the +2 to socketed bow gems, and yeah, I finished it the same way as you would with Explosive Arrow Champion. Pretty basic, but it's doing good. I do not have a Helm enchant for this yet. I've been running a lot of Labyrinth to see if I could hit, not even just the Explosive Arrow enchant, just like anything that could be good for me, like even an Aura or Curse, but everything I've seen so far has been pretty dog shit, unfortunately. I will keep trying so long as I get more offerings of the goddess, but we'll see. I don't know if I'll really hit anything big with that. Can't win them all. Quiver, I just upgraded this a day or two ago. I feel pretty good about this. The only thing is, like, I wish I had the accuracy instead of the 11 life on enemy kills. But even that's, like, not the most useless thing ever for, like, clearing, I guess. It could be a lot worse. But you can't have it all sometimes. And I don't think I'll really be trying to upgrade this. I think it would be kind of hard. I would have to use a lot of resources to really, like, get something that's way better than this. And, like, yeah, I don't really know how much more grinding I'm going to be doing for this league, but I'll get more into that later on. So, you'll probably have noticed already if you're familiar with Explosive Arrow builds. I do not have Polaric Devastation. I've run all my Black Star invitations, and it just hasn't dropped, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the one thing that's missing that I really wish I had, because Polaric Devastation is a huge DPS increase for this build. So what I've been running as a substitute is the Taming, which is not nearly as strong, but it has been working out pretty nicely, and the resistances have made it easier to gear up as well. Obviously I wish I had Polaric Devastation, but this has been working out just fine in the meantime, so I've just been continuing to use it. This Vermilion Ring, it's not great, it's not awful either. It has a combination of stats that are useful to me. I've used a lot of resources to try and make a good ring, and this is the best thing that I've been able to come up with. I find it really hard to get good rings. And yeah, it's been kind of annoying me, so I've just been rolling with this for now. Even though it's not the greatest, it's doing okay for now. Gloves and boots, they could both be better in some aspects. Actually, the gloves I'm pretty happy with. Boots could be better, but again, they get the job done. I don't really know if I'm going to be messing a whole lot with them. And then Diadine Dawn. This is mandatory for Explosive Arrow builds. I mean, like, it is possible to play EA without this, but your single target damage is going to feel significantly weaker without it. Like, you just got to get this. It's a tier 3 unique, so it's not like you'll never see it, but it may take a while for it to show up in solo self-found. But thankfully, I got one along the way in time to put this build together, so that's been great. And then other couple things to mention. I've been playing with Death Rush. I even used the Divine Orb on this to get it to 3 seconds on the Adrenaline buff, and this has been amazing for clearing maps. And I've been using that in conjunction with Dying Sun. So I don't have Rain of Splinters. I've been corrupting pretty much every Crimson Jewel that I've come across, and I've never hit it. So the alternative has been using this Dying Sun flask that I got from Shaper, and the uptime on it isn't the greatest because of the shorter duration, but it's been working out okay. Like, if I'm going through maps fast enough, I can keep it up for pretty much 80 to 90% of the duration of the map, especially if I'm doing something like Breach or Delirium. This has been really good to have. If I'm not using Dying Sun, then I use a Sulfur Flask. Didn't really know what else to put in this slot, so I just put Sulfur Flask for the increased damage. And if I were doing like Pinnacle bosses or anything like that, then I would just use another Life Flask in that slot. Okay, so I think that covers it for the gear. Passives, I don't really have as much to talk about since I already talked about Unnatural Instinct earlier. Everything else is like pretty much the same, from the Max Roll Guides POB that's been laid out. The only thing that I really did differently was some of the mastery choices I switched around and took some stuff out. And the cluster jewel setup is really the only thing I did differently. So I don't have a 8 passive fire cluster. I'm trying to farm that, see if I can get one from Delirium. But the 9 passive one has been, I have just enough points to make it work still, so that's good. And then for the totem medium cluster, I did something a little bit different. So the one that Palstron has is the Sleepless Sentries. I think this one is like pretty mandatory. Getting Onslaught whenever you summon a totem is insane. So you pretty much have like permanent Onslaught on you with this notable. Yeah, it's really good. But the other one he takes is, I think it's Snaring Spirits. I think it's for totem damage and to hinder enemies. I've been using this one instead for attack speed when you summon a totem. And the little bit of extra attack speed that this gives has been kind of nice, honestly, because I don't have attack speed on the regular jewels in my passive tree. It's just like life and dot multiplier. So that's been kind of nice for shoring up my attack speed in that way without really sacrificing too much damage. Like, I feel like my damage output is still just fine as it is. Tattoos, I haven't been able to do anything fancy. I just have one accuracy tattoo here and like some other small stuff. I would really like to get the +1 to dexterity skill gems tattoo to put here, but I don't really know how much more I'm going to be grinding this league. I'm kind of getting to the point where I'll probably be done for the most part with the current league in the next like week or two maybe. And then when it gets closer to the end of Trial of the Ancestors, maybe like a couple weeks before the league ends, I'll probably come back to do like league start testing and maybe some league challenges here and there if I feel like it. Because yeah, I've kind of had my fill for the most part. I've been having a lot of fun with the game, obviously. So I've been playing it so damn much. But yeah, I'm ready to take a quick break in the near future, but I will most certainly be back for future Path of Exile leagues, because I've been enjoying this game quite a bit. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now with this character. I will be doing another round of bosses and Ubers with this character with the Explosive Arrow build. I'm looking forward to trying that now that I have significantly more damage. Like, this is by far the strongest character that I've been able to put together, which has been really nice and satisfying. So yeah, it should be fun, and I'll make more videos about that once that's finished. So thank you very much if you've been watching this. If you like this video or any of my other content, please consider subscribing or visiting me on Twitch to support me. That would help me out a lot. Thank you, and have a good one.